I'll take the severe thunderstorm warning off. You could see 9:45 p.m. is what time this goes till. So we have a good 30 minutes left of this tornado warning that does cover much of the southern Pamlico Sound as well, moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour. So this is slower than what we've been seeing here in across eastern Carolina. And this is a part of the same line of storms that's now pushing gradually offshore, but this is the only area where we're seeing a tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. all the way down just to the east of Atlantic Beach, down to Cape Lookout, and then north, heading up down East Carteret, just to the west of Atlantic, of Smyrna. And we're going to bring up the rotation. That helps us try to pinpoint exactly where this potential tornado is. So again, Smyrna, they're just to the east of it here. It's moving to the northeast, so we'll put a line here to show where this could be potentially going over the next few minutes here. So let me just grab that for you. And again, it is moving to the northeast at 40 miles per hour, excuse me. So the rotation looks to be just along Smyrna, moving to the northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we're going to be looking at a timing-wise of Davis, Atlantic, the town of Atlantic, here in about 20 minutes. Again, just to the west of Highway 12, it looks like. It could pass near Ocracoke, Cedar Island in the next half hour to 45 minutes. But again, this is just a tornado warning along this band of showers and storms that we've been tracking. Most of them, all of them actually, have been expired early, but as of right now, looking at the rotation, it still looks like a really defined couplet. You could see the defined red and green area. That shows us that there is a decent amount of rotation at the surface. And as of right now, you could see straits in the heart of it, and radar is picking up on wind speeds approaching 50 plus miles per hour. So again, damaging wind gusts we've been seeing all night, and the heaviest of the winds now pushing east of Highway 17, soon to be offshore, with the primary concern being this tornado warning in down East Carteret here. So I will bring on the radar again, just offshore. If you've been looking out your window down at the beach, down at the Crystal Coast, you've been seeing lots of lightning. So again, it is near that same system, and lots of lightning to the north of it. And I will pull back up the tornado warning here again till 9:45. Turn off the lightning, and I'll turn off the radar so that way we can kind of get a better idea as to where this is at. Severe thunderstorm warning for much of the area, including the town of Atlantic, but the circulation itself is just along straits and heading up towards Smyrna, which again is down East Carteret, Otway, along that 70 corridor, certainly under that polygon as well. So if you're under this polygon, anywhere under that red area, you're going to want to get to an interior room and get to a basement preferably. But of course, we have meteorologist Donnie Cox here we've been tracking numerous tornado warnings all night, and we'll continue to see this one until 9:45.
Well, we'll continue with the potential as this line starts to move on off. And again, we have been talking about this for a couple of days now, that this could be a potential. And we are certainly seeing that play out here tonight. Again, this tornado warning until 9:45. And it's down on Harker's Island, Straits in Otway and Smyrna over to Davis. And again, it's moving off to the northeast, so that means Atlantic and Cedar Island. You need to keep an eye on this. Moving at about 40 miles per hour as it makes that track, so those are the areas that we're going to certainly be seeing. But this is the one area right around Straits as you make your way down to Harker's Island. And again, this area right in here under the gun, and this is moving at 40 miles per hour, so it's moving a little slower than the past ones at 75 to 80. Those were moving on along and out fairly quickly. For this, it's a little slower moving, so do keep that in mind. But again, right in that particular area, you need to keep in mind if you're in Straits or Smyrna or Davis or sea level, that this is going to be passing right on to the northeast, Cedar Island as well, in the next few minutes. So if you're in those areas, go ahead and get into your safe place. That includes the interior room. If it's a bathroom or a hallway closet, that's the best place to be. And when you get in to those areas, you're protecting yourself because you're staying away from windows. But again, that tornado safety, go indoors if you're outside. So make sure it's a sturdy building. Stay away from the windows. I can't stress that enough, because the windows breaking and the flying debris could certainly create problems for you. Otherwise, again, what we expect over the next few hours is for this to move offshore. But until then, just make sure that you're protecting yourself and that we are certainly urging you to keep an eye out for the conditions starting to decline quickly. Otherwise, here's what we have. Once again, as you look at the radar or at the warning, that's the polygon that you see here all the way out to the Core Banks, down to Morehead City, and back up to around Merriman, and then cutting across to Atlantic. Those are the areas where we do have the potential for severe weather with this particular system until 9:45. That's when the tornado warning will expire. And for those down east, you're going to continue to see these conditions decline over the next couple of minutes. But as you get more to the west, we're starting to see improvement, but that doesn't mean that it all comes to an end. We still have another line back to the west that will slide through. Not seeing any severe weather with this. Most of it continues to be right in this area here. You can see adding on the severe thunderstorm warnings. But again, down east Carteret, especially from Harker's Island, making your way right along to places like Atlantic and Cedar Island is where we'll see this particular movement. And again, it's off to the northeast at about 40. So for those that are going to be traveling around that area in the next little bit, you might want to give it time for this to pass on through, and make sure that you stay safe, especially right along Highway 70 as you pass Smyrna and Davis and on out that way. But again, this is the area that we're looking at with the radar scope, or the velocity, and what it's showing you right in here is the area where we've been seeing this potential tornado indicated by radar. This is about the fourth or fifth one we have had tonight, and this is going to be the trailing edge. You do see some of the lightning offshore and some of the heavier rain and thunderstorms. And as Grant mentioned a couple of minutes ago, you see all these lightning strikes as it passed over the camera that we use in Morehead City. We certainly saw the lightning on that camera, and the winds and the rain were certainly picking up quite a bit. But this will move on off the coast, and it looks like that as we go through the next few minutes, again, this is going to make its way on off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So again, those down in Atlantic, sea level for Davis, Smyrna, those are the areas to keep an eye on as this makes its way off to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Stacy, you can see this in about 15 minutes. Again, all the way out to Cedar Island here, we're looking at only about 28, 29 minutes before this makes it out to Cedar Island. Bigger picture, as you take a look back to the west, this will be the end of the rain tonight. This area moving into Duplin, Lenoir, Greene, and Pitt County as it starts to push on across all of these areas out in advance with the brighter colors that you see here, indicating the severe thunderstorm warnings and the potential for severe weather, but it will continue to push offshore by about 10 or 11 o'clock tonight. By midnight, I think that we're going to be starting to see conditions improving quickly, with the exception of the winds. And the reason for that, those winds are going to continue to be very gusty even into tomorrow. But what we're looking at right now is this area with the tornado warning. Looks like it may have just dropped off there, Grant.
They just now canceled the tornado warning. Still a severe thunderstorm warning, but the warning for the tornado is canceled.
So it's been canceled. We're going to get you back to your regularly scheduled program. We'll update all the conditions with the forecast and this storm moving away coming up on our news in just a bit. Turn it off.